Aaron stood inside the giant silver ship, staring out the glass window at the alien world below. The planet Kavor looked peaceful from space. Green forests, blue oceans, and shining cities with tall towers. But Aaron's heart felt heavy. He was not a soldier. He was not a spy. He was just a translator, a language expert. His job was to speak, not to fight. But something inside him whispered that this mission would not be so simple. As the ship landed, Aaron felt the floor shake slightly. He picked up his small bag and stepped out with careful steps. Two tall Kavoran guards stood waiting. Their skin was dark blue and their eyes glowed softly in the shade. They said nothing, only nodded. Aaron smiled politely and followed them. The air smelled strange, like warm metal and flowers. The streets were quiet, too quiet. No one smiled. No, one waved. It didn't feel like a place preparing for peace. Aaron had been chosen because of his gift. He could understand over 60 alien languages. He believed words could end wars. That was why Earth sent him, to help humans and Kavorans find peace after years of tension. But now, walking through these silent streets, Aaron felt doubt creeping into his mind. They brought him to a large hall made of black stone. Inside, the alien council waited. Their long robes flowed like shadows, and their faces were hard to read. Aaron stepped forward and bowed slightly, then began to speak in the Kavoran tongue. His voice was clear, respectful, and calm. He spoke of peace, of friendship, of a future where humans and Kavorans worked together. But as he spoke, he noticed something. The council members didn't look pleased or interested. They whispered among themselves. One of them, with deep scars across his face, stared at Aaron with cold, unblinking eyes. Aaron paused for a moment, then continued. Maybe it was just their way. Maybe they were just nervous. After the meeting, Aaron was led to his room inside, the alien palace. It was quiet and clean with soft lights and a high window showing the stars. But even in this calm place, Aaron could not sleep. His mind kept returning to the strange looks, the silent guards, the way the council didn't smile. Late at night, he turned on his translator pad and began recording a message to Earth. He spoke carefully, choosing his words. First meeting complete. No signs of aggression, but something feels off. The council does not seem open to true peace. I suggest caution. He sent the message, then sat in silence. Minutes later, a reply came through. A human voice said, Message received. Maintain. Position. You are not authorized for further action. Aaron sighed. They didn't believe him. He was just a translator. They thought he was being too careful, maybe even scared. But Aaron knew something was wrong. Deep down, he felt it in his bones. The next day, he walked through the city, hoping to understand more. He spoke with local aliens, shopkeepers, workers, even children. They were kind, but quiet. Their smiles didn't reach their eyes. When he asked about the peace talks, they changed the subject or walked away. Later, an old alien woman selling fruits pulled him aside. Her voice was low, almost a whisper. You shouldn't have come alone, she said in perfect English. Aaron blinked in surprise. What do you mean? He asked. But the woman just shook her head. They don't want peace. They want something else. Before he could ask more, she disappeared into the crowd. Aaron stood there, heart pounding. Why would a random alien speak to him like that? And how did she know English? That night, Aaron looked out the window again. The stars seemed further away now. He remembered the old woman's warning, the council's cold eyes, the silence in the streets. He knew he needed to dig deeper. Maybe he could find out the truth before it was too late. Suddenly, he noticed movement in the shadows below. Two Kavoran guards stood near the entrance, but they weren't looking outward. They were watching his window. Just standing. Staring. Aaron stepped back, his breath caught in his throat. He was being watched, not protected, watched. He picked up his translator pad again and recorded a new message. Urgent. I believe the mission is in danger. Something is wrong here. Request immediate review. Please respond. He sent it, but this time no reply came. Aaron sat down on the bed, heart racing. He wasn't sure what was happening, but he knew one thing. For certain, this was not just a peace mission anymore, and he was not just a translator. He was alone. On a strange world, surrounded by silence, and the silence was about to break. Aaron woke up early, but he didn't feel rested. His dreams were filled with strange voices and cold eyes. The image of the old alien woman whispering, "You shouldn't have come alone," stayed in his mind. He sat on the edge of the bed, listening to the silence around him. Even the silence here felt different, heavy, watching. He dressed quickly and stepped out into the hallway. 2 guards stood outside his door, the same ones from last night. They didn't speak. They only nodded and followed him. Were they guarding him or making sure he didn't leave? Aaron walked to the central library, pretending to study Kavoran, history. In truth, he was watching the guards, watching the workers, trying to find clues. But everyone avoided his eyes. No one spoke unless he asked them first. Even then, the answers were short and nervous. He found an old map inside the library's digital files. It showed the city as it used to be, before the war with humans. The map had markings, tunnels, stations, and buildings that no longer existed. Something caught his attention. A large underground base marked Sector 9 Restricted. But when he searched for it in the current system, it was missing. Deleted. Later that day, Aaron was taken to a second council meeting. This time, the Kavoran leader, High Voice Thrax, asked questions. Thrax's voice was smooth, but every word felt like a test. "Do humans truly want peace?" he asked. Aaron replied carefully. "Yes, that is why I'm here." "Do humans believe they are stronger than us?" "No. We believe both sides have suffered. It's time to stop." Thrax smiled slightly, but it didn't feel real. "Yes, time to stop the waiting." The words made Aaron's skin crawl. Was it a mistake or a hint? When the meeting ended, Aaron returned to his room. This time, the door locked behind him. Not with a soft click, but with a heavy sound, like a cell. He pulled out his translator pad and began recording. Urgent update. Council asked direct. Questions about human strength. Possible hidden meaning. I've also found reference to a deleted location. Sector 9. Please advise. He sent the message. This time the reply came quickly. Message received. No action authorized. Do not investigate. Remain in place. Aaron stared at the screen. They didn't understand. Earth still saw this as a peaceful mission. They didn't see the danger building behind every word, every look, every locked door. That night, Aaron couldn't sleep. The room felt smaller. The air felt thinner. He paced back and forth, thinking. That's when he saw it. Outside his window, a blinking red light far away in the city. It blinked in a pattern. 3 short, 2 long, 3 short. He recognized it. An old human distress code. SOS. Aaron's heart pounded. Another human? A warning? Or maybe a trap? He had to find out. He opened the floor panel beneath his bed. There was an old maintenance tunnel there, marked on the old map he found. It wasn't in the current maps anymore. He climbed down quietly and crawled through the narrow space. The air was dusty and full of strange smells, but he kept going. The tunnel led him under the city. Pipes hummed, machines ticked. It felt like he was walking through the veins of the planet. After 20 minutes, he reached a door with a red symbol. It matched the one from the map. Sector 9. He pushed it open and stepped inside. The room was dark and full of strange machines. Old tech, rusted weapons, empty cages. And in the middle of the room stood something shocking. A human. She was young, her clothes torn, her face tired. She looked at him with wide eyes. "Who are you?" she whispered. "I'm Aaron, translator. I came for peace talks, she laughed, quietly. But it was not a happy laugh. There are no peace talks. They're building weapons, planning to hit Earth first. They used me to test how humans think, how we speak. You're next. Aaron felt like the ground had dropped beneath him. Why hasn't Earth responded? Why don't they believe me? They don't see what we see. You're just a translator to them. But here, you're the first target. Suddenly, an alarm blared. The door slammed shut behind him. Aaron grabbed the girl's hand. We have to get out of here. Now. They ran back through the tunnel as heavy footsteps echoed above them. The silence of Cavor had shattered. The peace was broken. Aaron wasn't sure who he could trust, but now he knew one thing. He was no longer on a mission for peace. He was inside the enemy's trap. Aaron and the young human girl ran through the dark tunnel, their footsteps echoing around them. The alarm was still ringing, a deep, angry sound that filled the air. Somewhere above, Cavoran guards were searching. Aaron held the girl's hand tightly. They didn't speak. There was no time. Every second mattered. They reached the small room under Aaron's quarters, the one he had left through earlier. He pushed the panel open and climbed up, pulling the girl after him. She looked around, her eyes wide. "This is your room?" she asked. "Yes," Aaron said, locking the panel behind them. "For now." The girl sat down, breathing hard. Her name was Lyra. She had been captured 3 months ago while working on a science ship near Cavor. The aliens told her she was being studied, but it was worse than that. They used machines to scan her brain, test her memory, and study human language. She had escaped once before, but they caught her. This time, she had used a broken sensor to send the SOS signal, and Aaron had seen it. Aaron gave her water and some food from his supplies. "You're safe here for now," he said. But even as he said it, he didn't believe it. He was sure they knew he had left his room. The alarm wasn't just for Lyra, it was for him too. He sat down and turned on his translator pad. He recorded another message to Earth. "This is Aaron. I have found another human prisoner. Confirmed. Cavorans are planning something. No sign of peace. Request urgent backup. Please respond." He waited. 10 minutes passed, then 20. Finally, a message appeared. "Do not leave your quarters again. Await further instructions. Backup not approved." Aaron threw the pad on the bed in frustration. "They still don't believe me," he said. "They won't," Lyra said. "They think this is just a diplomatic mission. They don't see what's coming." Aaron looked at her. "Then we have to show them. We need proof. Something they can't ignore." Lyra nodded. "There's a control center, underground. That's where they store plans, recordings, and test logs. If we get in, we can send everything back to Earth." "Where is it?" "Sector 9. Deeper than where you found me." Aaron took a deep breath. "Then that's where we go." They waited until night. The city outside was still, but it didn't feel calm. It felt like something was waiting to move. Aaron and Lyra slipped back into the tunnel, careful and quiet. They moved deeper than before, into the older parts of the city, where lights flickered and machines buzzed softly in the dark. After almost an hour, they reached a large metal door. It was locked with a strange alien code, but Aaron had studied the Cavoran language for years. His fingers moved quickly over the keypad. The lock clicked open. Inside, the room was cold and full of screens. Alien symbols moved across them. Lyra pointed to one of the panels. "That's where they keep the mission plans." Aaron connected his translator pad. The screen flashed as it downloaded the data. Then they saw it. Clear images of Cavoran, warships, ready to launch. Orders to attack Earth's border colonies. A list of human names marked as targets. Aaron's name was on it. He stared at the screen. His hands were shaking. "They were never going to talk," he whispered. "This was always a setup." Just then, footsteps echoed outside the door. "They're here," Lyra said. Aaron grabbed the pad and looked around. There was no way out except the tunnel they came from, but suddenly the wall behind them hissed and opened. An old alien stood there, hunched and thin, with pale eyes. "Come," he said in a quiet voice. "Hurry." Aaron hesitated, but the footsteps were getting closer. He followed the old alien through the secret door. Lyra came too. The door closed just as the guards reached the main room. They ran through a narrow passage until they reached a dark chamber. The old alien lit a small lamp. "Why are you helping us?" Aaron asked. The alien looked at him. "Because I remember the first war. I lost my son. I believed in peace. But my leaders do not. They want revenge. They lie to their people. I have waited for someone like you." Aaron held up the pad. "This has everything. Proof. Plans. They can't deny it. You must send it," the old alien said, "but you must also survive." Outside, the alarm rang again, louder than before. Aaron knew things had changed. He was not just a translator now. He was a witness, a threat. And maybe the only hope Earth had. He looked at Lyra, then at the old alien. "We fight now," Aaron said. "Not with just words, but with the truth." And in the darkness of a foreign world, the war had already begun. Aaron, Lyra, and the old alien, whose name was Vec, sat in the small dark chamber deep under the city. The air was cold and heavy. Above them, alarms still echoed. Guards were searching, and time was running out. Aaron held the translator pad tightly. It now held the proof: secret war plans, attack orders, prisoner records. Everything Earth needed to know the truth, but now they had a bigger problem: how to send the message. "The signal lines above are watched," Vec explained. "If you send the data from here, they will trace it and catch you before the upload finishes." Aaron looked at him. "Then where can I send it from?" "There is one place," Vec said. "The old spaceport control tower. It was abandoned years ago, but the signal there is strong and not under their full control yet." Lyra frowned. "It's also in the open. They'll expect us to go there." Aaron stood. "It doesn't matter. We don't have a choice. We have to try." They moved quickly through the old tunnels, led by Vec. He knew every hidden path, every back door. They avoided the guards, passed through quiet areas, and reached a metal stairway that led up to the surface. As they climbed, Vec spoke softly. "When I was young, I believed peace could happen. But our leaders wanted power. They used fear to stay in control. Now, even those who want peace are afraid to speak." Aaron looked at him. "Why are you not afraid?" Vec smiled faintly. "Because you came, and because I have nothing left to lose." They reached the surface just as the sun was rising. The city was still quiet, but drones flew overhead. The control tower stood in the distance, tall and broken, its top half covered in rust and old cables. "We move fast," Aaron said. "No, stopping." They ran through empty alleys and broken streets. Twice, they had to hide behind walls as patrols passed. Finally, they reached the tower. Its door was locked with old codes, but Vec quickly bypassed them. Inside, the walls were cracked, and wires hung from the ceiling like dead vines. They climbed to the top. The control room had large windows, dusty screens, and a wide console. Aaron connected his pad to the system. Lights blinked. A low hum started. The signal was working. "It's sending," Aaron said, watching the upload bar. "Almost there." Suddenly, a sharp voice came through the speakers. "Human Aaron. This is High Voice Thrax. Step away from the console." Aaron froze. Then, the screen flashed. Thrax's face appeared, cold, angry. "You were a guest, not a spy," Thrax said. "You broke the rules. Return now or die where you stand." Aaron looked at Lyra, then at Vec. "We're not spies," he said into the mic. "We're telling the truth. You don't want peace. You want war. And now Earth will know." Thrax's eyes narrowed. "So be it." Outside, ships roared to life. Drones flew faster. Soldiers moved through the streets, coming toward the tower. Have 5 minutes, Vec said. Maybe less. Aaron watched the screen. 76% uploaded. Lyra picked up a small energy pistol Vec had brought. I'll hold the door, she said. Aaron started to protest, but she shook her head. You finish the upload. That's more important than anything. She ran down the stairs. A few seconds later, the sound of shots echoed below. Aaron's heart raced. 85%. 90%. Vec stood by the window, watching the sky. They're coming fast, he said. Aaron nodded. I know. 95%, 97%, 99%. Upload complete. Aaron pressed the final button. The data launched into space, sent to Earth's high-orbit satellites. It was out of reach now. Safe. He turned to Vec. We did it. Vec smiled. Yes, but now you must go. He opened a hidden panel in the floor. This tunnel leads to the edge of the forest. There's an old escape ship hidden there. You and Lyra can get away. Aaron hesitated. What about you? I'll stay. I've done my part. Aaron shook his hand. Thank you, Vec. You helped save more than just us. He ran down the stairs. Lyra was injured, holding her arm but alive. Upload? She asked. Sent. Together, they ran into the tunnel as soldiers burst into the tower behind them. The path was long, dark, and narrow. But at the end, they found it, the small escape ship hidden under vines and rocks. Aaron helped Lyra inside. The engines hummed as he started the launch. As the ship lifted into the sky, he looked back at the city below. Fires burned. Sirens screamed. But above all that, he knew the truth had reached Earth. And now, the real fight was about to begin. They were no longer just survivors. They were messengers of war. The escape ship flew low above the forests, just outside the capital city of Cavor. Aaron sat at the controls, his eyes scanning the radar. Lyra was in the co-pilot seat, still holding her injured arm. The ship was old, but it still worked. For now, they were safe. We can't go to orbit, Aaron said. Their ships will shoot us down. Lyra nodded. Then where do we go? Aaron looked at the screen. There's a rebel zone. The outer desert. Vec told me some Cavorans. They don't follow the council. Maybe they'll help us. The ship turned west, heading toward the red sands of the desert. Below them, the green forest changed to dry land. Smoke rose behind them, from the city they had escaped. They had sent the proof. Earth knew the truth now. But how would Earth respond? As they flew, the communicator beeped. Aaron opened the message. It was from Earth Command. Message received. Proof confirmed. Preparing defense forces. Evacuation of border colonies underway. Stay hidden. We are coming. Aaron showed Lyra the message. Her eyes filled with relief, but also worry. They know, she said. But will they get here in time? Aaron didn't answer. He didn't know. The desert stretched far and empty. After hours of flying, the ship's engine began to make strange sounds. We're losing power, Aaron said. Hold on. He guided the ship down gently, landing on a flat area of sand. Dust rose around them. The ship shut down with a tired groan. Lyra looked outside. Now what? We walk. They packed food and water, then started across the sand. The sun was hot and the wind dry. The desert was quiet, too quiet. No birds, no movement, just silence and the crunch of their boots. After hours of walking, they saw something ahead, a group of shapes, half buried in the sand. As they got closer, they saw it was a small village, abandoned. Old metal homes, broken machines, and warning signs written in Cavoran. This place saw battle, Lyra said, pointing to burn marks on the walls. They walked carefully through the village. In one of the buildings, they found a working water pump. They filled their bottles and rested in the shade. As night fell, lights appeared on the horizon. Not stars, moving lights. Someone's coming, Aaron said. He grabbed his scanner. Small transport, low energy. Could be rebels. Lyra stood ready with her pistol. Or it could be hunters. The vehicle stopped near the edge of the village. 3 figures stepped out. 2 were Kavoran, one old, one younger. The third was a human. Aaron stepped out slowly, hands up. We're not enemies. The human, a woman with short black hair, stepped forward. Name? Aaron. Earth translator. This is Lyra. We escaped from the capital. She lowered her weapon slightly. I'm Captain Reyes, Earth Special Ops. I've been hiding with local rebels. Reyes walked closer, her eyes sharp. We received your data. You did good. Real. Good. Earth is mobilizing now, but Kavor is already planning to strike first. Their fleet is moving. Aaron nodded. We need to stop them before they attack. The older Kavoran rebel named Drex spoke in a soft voice. We have a plan, but we need someone who knows the council base, their codes, their paths. Can you help us? Aaron thought for a moment. He remembered the tower, the maps, the codes Vec had shown him. I can get you in. That night, they sat around a small fire in the desert going over the plan. The rebel base was hidden under the sand, protected by old Kavoran tech. Inside were stolen weapons, small ships, and more rebels. Kavorans who wanted peace. Reyes explained the plan. The Kavoran fleet is getting ready in orbit, but their command system is still on the ground. If we break it, disable it, Earth gets time to prepare. Aaron pointed to the map. This is their weak point. The uplink tower behind the council building. If we shut that down, their ships lose connection for a few hours. Enough time for Earth to strike first, Lyra said. Everyone nodded. The mission was risky, but it was the only chance. At dawn, they began moving. The rebels gave Aaron and Lyra new clothes, armor, and weapons. Aaron had never used a gun before. He held it awkwardly but determined. You ready for this? Reyes asked him. Aaron looked at the rising sun. I came here to translate words, but now I speak through actions. And so, the translator became a soldier, not because he wanted to fight, but because he had to. Behind him, Earth was waiting. Ahead of him, war was coming. The sun was high over the desert as the small rebel team moved forward. Aaron walked beside Captain Reyes, dressed in armor that didn't quite fit him. He held his weapon tightly, his hands sweating. Lyra followed close behind, her injured arm now bandaged. The rebels said it would take a day to reach the edge of the Kavoran capital again. From there, they would slip inside and destroy the uplink tower. Aaron kept thinking about how far he had come. He was just a translator. He came to Kavor to help stop a war with words. But now, words had failed. Now, he was walking into enemy territory with a gun and a mission. It didn't feel real, but he knew it was. That night, they camped inside a rocky canyon. The stars above were bright, but the ground below felt cold. Aaron sat by the fire, watching the flames. Reyes sat beside him and handed him a small energy bar. You did something huge, she said. Sending that proof saved lives. Aaron looked down. But now I have to fight. I don't know if I'm ready. Reyes nodded. None of us are, but we don't have a choice. The next morning, the team reached the city's edge. From a distance, the tall black tower stood like a giant needle reaching into the sky. That was the uplink, if they could. Destroy it, the Kavoran fleet would be blind for hours. Drex, the old Kavoran rebel, led them through hidden tunnels under the city. Aaron remembered these passages. He had once used them to escape. Now he was using them to return. They stopped in a small room beneath the council building. Above them, soldiers walked the halls. Aaron took a deep breath. This was it. Reyes looked at the group. Once we attack the tower, they'll know we're here. We hit fast, we hit hard, and then we run, understood? Everyone nodded. Drex opened the panel that led into the tower's base. One by one, they climbed up. The inside was quiet, too quiet. Aaron felt a chill. Something was wrong. Suddenly a voice rang out. "Welcome back, Aaron." It was Thrax. Lights flashed on. Soldiers stepped from the shadows. They had been waiting. "It's a trap!" Reyes shouted. Blaster fire lit the room. The rebels fought back. Aaron ducked behind a console, pulling Lyra with him. Reyes fired her weapon, hitting 2 guards. Drex was shot, falling with a sharp cry. "Keep going," he shouted before losing consciousness. Aaron saw the uplink control panel just ahead. He ran for it, dodging shots. He reached the console and pulled out his pad. He connected it to the system and began uploading a shutdown virus, one created by Lyra and Reyes during their planning. The upload bar moved slowly. Too slowly. Lyra covered him, firing at the guards. Reyes fought near the stairs, blocking reinforcements. Aaron's pad blinked. 5%, 80%, 90%, a shadow fell across him. Thrax stood there tall and angry, holding a dark weapon. "You could have helped build peace," Thrax said. "But you chose war." Aaron didn't look away. "No, you chose war. I just told the truth." Thrax raised his weapon, but Lyra fired first. The shot hit Thrax in the chest. He stumbled back and fell. The pad beeped. Upload complete. Aaron hit the final key. The tower lights flickered, then died. Outside, the Kavoran fleet lost signal. In space, their ships froze, confused, blind. Earth's fleet, hidden just beyond Kavor's moons, moved in. Alarms blared. Guards began to retreat, confused by the loss of command. Reyes shouted, "We need to move, now!" They grabbed Drex's body and escaped through the tunnels. Explosions rocked the ground above them. The war had begun, but Earth had the upper hand now. Hours later, the team reached the rebel base in the desert again. Drex was still alive, though badly hurt. Reyes reported the mission's success to Earth Command. Aaron and Lyra sat near the bay, edge of the canyon, watching the distant smoke rise from the city. "We stopped them," Lyra said. "For now," Aaron replied. "But this is only the beginning." Earth had heard the truth. The attack was delayed. But peace was still far away. The Kavoran Council would not forget this. Aaron looked at his hands. They were dirty, scraped, and shaking. He had come to speak, but had been forced to fight. He didn't know what came next, but he knew one thing. He was no longer just a translator. He was a symbol, a witness, a hero drenched in the blood of truth, and the final battle was still to come. The sky above Kavor was filled with fire and smoke. Earth's fleet had arrived in full force, now locked in a deadly battle with the Kavoran armada. From the desert base, Aaron watched the sky burn. Every explosion reminded him of what was at stake. This was no longer just about survival. It was about justice, about truth, about stopping those who had lied and killed to gain power. Inside the rebel base, Lyra helped the wounded while Reyes spoke with Earth Command through a secure channel. The attack on the uplink tower had worked. The Kavoran ships were still confused, moving slower, unable to fight with full control. But the enemy still had numbers and anger. Aaron stood quietly in the corner of the control room, staring at the large screen showing the space battle. He didn't feel like a hero. His heart was heavy. So many had died to get to this point. Vec, Drex, dozens of rebels. Maybe more. Reyes turned toward him. "Aaron, we have one last chance to end this." He looked at her. "How?" "There's a secret broadcast tower on top of the Kavoran Council Dome. It still works. If we take it, we can send a message to every screen, every speaker, every system on Kavor. The people will hear you. The soldiers will hear you. Maybe, just maybe, they'll stop fighting." Aaron hesitated. "They won't listen to me. I'm not one of them." Reyes shook her head. "But you spoke the truth. You risked everything. And now, you're the only one they might trust." Lyra placed a hand on Aaron's shoulder. "This is what you came to do, remember? You came to speak." Aaron took a deep breath. He had spoken to leaders, to rebels, to enemies. Now he would speak to a planet. They moved fast. A small team flew a stealth ship toward the city. The battle still raged above, but the dome below was lightly guarded now. Most troops were in chaos or retreat. Aaron, Lyra, and Reyes landed on the council roof. The wind was strong, and the air smelled like smoke and fire. The broadcast tower stood tall, still active. Reyes hacked into the control panel, giving Aaron full access. "It's ready," she said. "You just need to talk." Aaron stepped forward. The camera light turned green. All across Cavor, screens blinked. Soldiers in the field paused. Civilians in their homes stopped moving. Everyone looked up as Aaron's face appeared. He spoke slowly, clearly, using the Cavoran words he had learned during his mission. "This is Aaron, a human, a translator. I came to your planet to speak for peace. I was told this war could be avoided, but your leaders lied, to you and to us. They wanted war. They used fear. They killed their own people to keep control." He paused, his voice strong but calm. "I saw it with my own eyes. And now, Earth knows the truth. The war has begun, but it does not have to end in more death. You, the people of Cavor, have a choice. You can keep fighting for leaders who betrayed you, or you can stop. You can speak. You can rise." All over the planet, silence filled the streets. Some soldiers lowered their weapons. Others looked around in confusion. In the command centers, Cavoran officers argued. Some gave up, some resisted. But the message had been heard. The council, hidden in their chambers, tried to block the signal, but it was too late. The truth was out. The people had seen it, and they were no longer afraid. Back on the rooftop, the signal ended. Aaron stepped away, exhausted. Reyes smiled. "You did it." Suddenly, a Cavoran ship appeared in the sky, aiming at the tower. Lyra shouted, "Get down!" A blast shook the building. The edge of the rooftop exploded. Aaron fell, landing hard on the platform below. His vision blurred, his ears rang. He saw Reyes pulling him up. Lyra was shouting his name. They jumped back onto the stealth ship just in time and flew away as the tower collapsed behind them. Hours later, Earth declared a ceasefire. Many Cavoran soldiers had stopped fighting. The people were demanding change. The war was not over, but it had paused, something no one thought possible. Aaron stood again in the desert base, looking at the sky. His body was bruised. His clothes were torn. His hands were still shaking. But the war had shifted. Because of his words. Lyra walked beside him, smiling gently. "You spoke when it mattered most," Aaron nodded. "I didn't want to be a hero. I just wanted peace." She looked at him. "Sometimes peace needs a voice, and sometimes that voice must come from someone who never meant to fight." The wind blew softly across the sand. Ships flew overhead, not to destroy, but to rebuild. Aaron looked up, eyes filled with hope. The translator who was sent not to fight had returned as the voice that changed a world.